Am I the asshole for telling my ILs they shouldn't blame me when they ignored my friendly warnings? My ILs moved back in June. They had been planning this move for several months and had their house up on the market before they told my husband, 24 male, and me, 23 female. They had mentioned the name of a small town they liked and were considering their number one choice of location. I know the place well because it's my hometown. And I fled right as I was turning 17 and never went back there. There are zero happy memories of my hometown for me. I was raised in one of those families. The ones that are the talk of everyone in town for all the wrong reasons. I'm the only member of my family, dad, mom, brother, who did not go to prison or get in trouble with the law. But people still hated me because of who my family was. Growing up there was hell. And the one friend I had back then got a lot of shit for being friends with me. Teachers treated her like shit, she was thrown under the bus alongside me many times. Even her family gave her crap for being friends with me. When all 3 family members were arrested together, I decided I just needed to run away and get far from there or I'd live in literal hell until I turned 18. And I knew it would happen. My ILs always knew I came from a family that got in trouble with the law a lot. They also knew I had a bad reputation where I came from as a result. They didn't know my hometown until that came up when they mentioned their move and I gave them a friendly heads up, warning that living there and making their association to me known would not be a great idea. That they would likely be treated poorly as a result. My husband suggested there were so many other places they could look at. But his parents had their hearts set. My husband and I worried for his much younger siblings who are all still in school. I knew most, if not all, my past teachers would still be there. But I had hoped they wouldn't be too open about me. They moved in June. By August they had mentioned me to some people or some people had seen photos of me and my husband in their home. And when my siblings-in-law started school, it wasn't great. They found it hard to make friends. One brother-in-law was denied a place on the football team. Parents don't want their kids associating with them. They also noticed neighbors are less friendly, they don't get the same chit-chat they liked when they first moved. And they heard a lot of hate about my family. The kids especially. And now my ILs, by this I mean my husband's parents, are mad at me and they acted like I didn't warn them. I reminded them that I did give them a friendly warning and they couldn't say I didn't, so they shouldn't blame me. My husband had my back on that and told them the same. They told me I shouldn't be saying any I told you so's when my husband's siblings are negatively impacted. The funny, sad part is my husband's siblings aren't mad. It just made them sad for me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole you explicitly told them this would likely happen. Not the asshole. You can't help the circumstances here. It's very unfortunate though, people are the worst. They should give you a chance, especially being the only one to have never been arrested. By the way, why are so many people marrying so young? I feel like I didn't know my ass from my elbow at 23 compared to now, and I'm only 4 years older. Oh 4, don't tell people you're related to me, they'll be mean. We told people we're related to you and they're being mean. Why didn't you warn us not to? I did warn you. You didn't listen. How dare you say, I told you so. Insert facepalm.gif here. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, it's not fair, but unfortunately due to your family you're basically guilty by association and now they're getting ripped to shreds. Not the asshole, but that's a truly evil place if your in-laws are condemned just because you are part of their family. You don't live with them, you aren't genetically linked to the in-laws, their family was formed before you entered their lives. For people to treat them like they are tainted because their son married you is really depraved. I have a feeling that even if they hadn't mentioned you, the town's judgmental and unfairly punitive nature would still have surfaced. Not the asshole do stupid things, win stupid prizes ILs. They told me I shouldn't be saying any I told you so's when my husband's siblings are negatively impacted. Hey Einsteins, that is the exact time you do put forward your I told you so's. In other words, you don't want to be the least bit criticized for the bad choice you made, one that you were specifically warned about, one that is causing so much angst now. Maybe some well-mentioned I told you so's will prevent you making the same mistake again. But I doubt it. Am I the asshole for the way I reacted to my friend's pregnancy? So I am a 22-year-old university student and almost all my friends are 18-25-year-old students, recent graduates living in my uni town. Also almost all my friends are LGBT and in queer relationships, so there is rarely a pregnancy scare in my friend groups, but when there is it is always a negative thing. One of my closest friends from my hometown is 31 years old Sadie, who is a heterosexual woman. In the 10 years I have been friends with her she has never had a serious or long-term relationship, just a series of situationships and one-night stands. She is financially stable and supports herself, is not a student, but she has always said she never wants kids and never wants to settle down. I stayed in my uni town over the summer while I finished my master's, so I haven't seen Sadie for a while, but we talk every day and she's never said anything about getting into a relationship. 2 weeks ago we didn't talk for 3 days and I was getting worried about her and then she texted me. Randomly at 3 a.m. I'm pregnant. So I responded, oh shit. Are we happy or sad about this? Who's the father? Because I didn't want to celebrate too soon as everything I've known about her makes me think she wouldn't be happy about this. She didn't respond but over 24 hours later she called me to chew me out on the phone, telling me why couldn't I just be happy for her and that it is really rude and disrespectful to ask the questions I did. I told her that none of my other friends would be happy about it and she's always spoken about how she didn't want kids, so I just wanted to make sure I was reacting properly, and she didn't sound positive about it in her message. She said I was psychoanalyzing her and she's an adult so she can do whatever she wants and that if I'm going to be negative she doesn't need me in her life. If she'd told me she was happy about it I would have been happy for her and supportive, I just didn't know. She also said she trusted me by telling me and she hadn't told anyone else, and also it was really invasive of me to ask about her sex life. In our entire friendship she's always told me about her sex life because we are open like that. Then she hung up on me and we haven't spoken since. She's ignored all my texts and calls. Am I the asshole? I'm worried I've lost a close friend over this. We've never fought like this before, but also IDK if what I said was so wrong, so I just wanted to get an outside opinion. Thanks. Edit. Hey, sorry I was out all day, I just wanted to answer the 2 questions I've seen the most. We actually became friends aged 13 and 21 in February 2015, so nearly 10 years, not a full 10 years. She was almost 22 at the time. We met online in a fandom and later found out we live in the same city. Nothing weird has ever gone on. Also, I'm in the UK, started uni at 18 and just finishing up my master's now aged 22, 23 in November. Also, she still has not texted me back. Thanks all for your comments. I'm going home for Christmas and if we haven't spoken by then I'll see if she wants to meet up. I'm wondering about the health of this relationship at all. She's 31, Op is 22, and they've been friends for 10 years. So 21 and 12. What 21-year-old has a 12-year-old close friend? What was the nature of their relationship? Op says the friend has always been open about her sexual relationships with her. Considering Op was a child throughout the majority of their relationship, being open about her sexual relationships the entire time raises red flags. This really has me concerned for Op. Edited because I submitted the comment by accident before I was finished. So as a 12-year-old girl, a 21-year-old was open about her sex life with you? Apart from that, I think you reacted perfectly. Except maybe the question for the father, but okay. Certainly minor, forgivable. Not the asshole. Nah, I disagree with the people who are calling you an asshole for asking, who's the father? You were supposedly close enough that you were one of the first people she called, but you had no idea she was in a relationship. Further, she had been adamant she didn't want kids and is now changing her mind. Her prerogative to do so, but it's a shift from prior behavior. Based on what you knew about her, it sounds like a sudden and unexpected shift. That said, she's newly pregnant and likely dealing with serious hormones, so you need to extend her some grace for her reaction and be more gentle with her. Apologize to rebuild the bridge and ask how you can support her. Are we happy or sad about this? That was honestly so valid. Yes, I know some people just say congrats, but I am just going off of what you said when you mentioned that pregnancy scares were seen negatively. Not the asshole. To me it looked like you just wanted to know how to gauge what she was feeling about being pregnant so you can support her properly. I'm sorry she blew up at you though, hun. That was not okay. Frowning face. Info: why did a 21-year-old befriend a 12-year-old? Not the asshole, although asking about the father would generally be an asshole question outside an extremely close friendship that involves those kinds of discussions. It's strange that you'd been talking every day, except 3, before that, and she didn't mention any relationships. Asking whether she's happy or not is a reasonable response in these circumstances. Supporting her means supporting her choices, which you couldn't assume. If someone who'd repeatedly told me they didn't want children suddenly said they were pregnant, I'd ask the same thing. Although probably not immediately leap to the daddy question. I think she overreacted, but you can tell her you're sorry you hurt her and miss her as a friend and want to talk to her, if all that's true. Am I the asshole for lying to my family about the gender of my baby? Update. Okay, Reddit has spoken and we have agreed hubby is not allowed to surprise his mom. We will be saying we don't know, and addressing any hopes for a girl with a request to stop pressuring us to have a girl, and that we better not witness any gender disappointment if it's a boy, and if it's a girl, we better not see a different reaction or treatment than to the boys ever. This message will be consistently delivered. Everyone worrying about trauma to our boys, we are very good in addressing behaviors and setting boundaries with anyone in contact with our kids, and will set clear expectations and boundaries on the first phone call once she's born. These will be strictly enforced. Thanks for your concern and input. I do think maybe I worded this post a bit more seriously than it would have been. The parents would have been like, "You sneaky rats, and been happy, but I don't want them to spread the lie wider, so we will just share the unbelievable lie instead and try to throw them off every chance we get. We were also very shocked at how many people said we were lying about knowing the gender so early. We are very lucky to live in a country with affordable and accessible healthcare and feel so grateful that NIPT is so available to us. Thanks again all, especially those who stayed kind. I am 11 weeks pregnant with our third child. We have 2 boys already, 2 and 4. Both sides of grandparents don't know we are pregnant yet, and we found out today that our third will be a girl. Via MIPT testing, which is over 99% accurate. This would be very exciting for both sets of grandparents, but we are considering telling them all that we are pregnant with our third boy instead. The reasons are: 1. My mother-in-law literally yelled, "No," when we told her the gender of our second boy, having kept the first a secret. She has also told me multiple times I need to give her a granddaughter, and thus far I've told her she gets what she gets and doesn't get upset, and that if she wanted a girl she should have had it instead of just having one boy, my husband. 2. We know that mother-in-law will start sending clothes. She lives in a different country to us. As soon as she finds out, she even sent girls clothing, hopefully for our first, not knowing he was a boy. And we are conscious of how our 2 boys will feel about things arriving for the new baby, and not them. The sending wouldn't be as extreme for a third boy as we already have lots of boy stuff. 3. I want to avoid the drama and upset if mother-in-law treats unborn baby girl more favorably than she did my boys. She already shows extreme favoritism to her favorite niece over other girls and boys in the family and sees nothing wrong with it. 4. We want to avoid mother-in-law coming to our country for the birth. She came a few months later for our boys, as we want to get settled and think if it's a girl she will want to come ASAP. 5. Our eldest was born, code blue, and required resuscitation, and before him, we had a miscarriage, and I'm worried about the added pressure on me to birth the first granddaughter from our parents. 6. We think it would be really exciting once born if she's a big surprise for both sides, as she will be the first granddaughter on both sides. We can't say we don't know because we are both type A and they know we would know, and we did with the first 2 too. We are worried though by telling our parents she's a boy, when she isn't, that they will buy gendered clothing though, or that they will be mad at us for lying for 6 months. Is this going to backfire on us? Would we be the assholes? Any advice would be appreciated. Info. Why not just say, hey, we are not telling anyone the gender because of the way some people reacted by our second baby. So yeah, you will find out, when the baby is there, and then let everyone else think if this means it is a girl, a boy or twins. Lying could lead to a bad start for your little girl, as people could be upset. And do you really want some family to cut you out after finding out you lied to them for 8 months? So don't say anything. Given how some people reacted to our previous gender reveal, none of you will know the gender of the baby before birth. No need to overcomplicate things with lies. One way or another, you're going to have to deal with your MIL's behavior. Lying now is just putting off the inevitable. I understand why you want to though. Healthy boundaries need to be discussed. You need to get on the same page with your husband and figure out how you're going to tackle this issue long term. Dealing with this right after giving birth sounds like a nightmare. It's bad juju to start out your little girl's life by lying about her. Just tell everyone their shitty behavior means everyone is on an information diet. It'll drive them crazy, so you'll get your revenge that way. The previous behavior makes them assholes, but if you lie you will be as well. Congratulations, but don't lie. You are the asshole. I read the whole post, and still don't understand why you think lying is the right call. Not telling them gender would work. Telling them the gender but establishing boundaries, you're not visiting us until, blank, do not send more than, blank, articles of clothing, would work. Lying to them is, well, disrespectful. It sounds like mother-in-law is over the top, but I don't think a lie is the solution. You're just making the eventual conversation. I lied to you, it is a girl. Which sounds worse than a frank conversation where you discuss your feelings. YWBTA, grow some cojones and talk to your family. Tell them all of the things you told us. Let them be excited for you. Don't make bad blood by lying. Am I the asshole for uninviting my brother from my wedding? I, 29F, am getting married in a few months, and I've been working hard to make it a special day for everyone involved. My brother, 31M, has always been very active in local politics, which has led to some heated family debates. He's currently running for a local office, and while I support his ambitions, his constant political talk has been a source of tension in our family. Last week, during my bridal shower, my brother took it upon himself to make a surprise announcement. In the middle of the event, he gave an impromptu speech about his political campaign, complete with campaign slogans and a request for donations. The atmosphere immediately shifted from celebratory to uncomfortable. Guests were visibly confused and annoyed, and some even left early. After the event, I told my brother that his stunt was inappropriate and that I couldn't have him turning my wedding into a political platform. I explained that I wanted the day to be about love and celebration, not political agendas. I asked him to either keep politics out of the wedding or to not attend. My brother is furious, claiming that I'm trying to suppress his voice and that I'm being unreasonable. Our parents are also upset, saying that I'm being unfair and should accommodate his campaign because it's important to him. I'm feeling conflicted because I don't want to create a rift in the family, but I also don't want my wedding to become a political event. Am I the asshole for uninviting my brother from my wedding after his political announcement at my bridal shower? Not the asshole. There is a time and a place for most things, but your bridal shower was not the place for this. Disappointed that your parents weren't on your side for this. If you really want to re-invite your brother to your wedding, I would do the following. Tell him that if he does any sort of political campaigning, he will be thrown out, and you are not kidding around. If he does, get security to throw him out. Warn your parents about this so that they know the deal. Not the asshole at all, it's your special day, not his networking event to spread his political campaign and make people leave. If they really want to be so upset about it, then they can stay home and miss the big day. Not the asshole. Your wedding is not the venue for his grandstanding, and you aren't suppressing his voice to ask him to take his politics elsewhere. Not sure why you didn't put a stop to him at the shower immediately, though. Send him a bill for the party. His campaign donations can pay for it. It was not a political event. He hijacked your party. I would uninvite him as well if he cannot control himself. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I am shocked that he and your parents don't see how ludicrous his need to turn your wedding into his political soapbox. I would not only not invite him, I'd hire security to make sure he didn't show up and try to campaign. Ain't the asshole. Look. Brides can become bridezillas, but you are not asking for anything crazy. It's supposed to be your day and he is clearly making this about himself. Especially if he blows up over such a minor request. You're not telling him he can't answer people when they ask him how it's going. You're telling him your wedding is not an appropriate place for a political rally. Is your brother Trump, by the way? Rolling on the floor laughing. If he wants to make it about himself, you're fine with telling him to go do it somewhere else.